I mean, listen, we're talking about practice.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Hello? You play to win the game.
I am very excited to talk about sports!
Hey everybody, Nick here with the Wednesday Night Sports Podcast with another edition of Something to Football with Logan. How's it going, Logan?
I just have one question before we start off. Have you tried the new Popeye's chicken sandwich that is just taking over the United States, and some are comparing it and saying it's better than the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich?
No, I haven't. I don't plan on it either.
I probably will at some point, but maybe not. I feel like I'm playing the fence, but I have to drive all the way across town to get it. So if I'm ever across town, I'll get it, but maybe not. I don't know. Well, let's continue.
Anyway, so this is our, can you believe it, our 20th episode?
It's hard to believe. It definitely lasted longer than Hey Wogan, which you can find in our archives somewhere or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And this will be our best episode yet because we are the recipient of the two-time Brad Ward Podcast Award. Shout out to Brad Ward.
You can follow him at whatever his handle is right now.
Brad Ward Fight. And you can follow us on Twitter at STFW Wednesday. Something to Football with Wednesday. So let's go ahead and get things started. Let's start talking about the XFL.
Welcome to the XFL. Waits for Dakota to come in the room.
Dakota, take your goddamn pills!
Oh, speaking of pills, the Cats are up this week.
Oh, god damn it.
They were going after Wires, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with this.
So I think we should start talking about the XFL teams that they revealed today. What do you think of these 8 team names that they've revealed?
Well, let me pull it back up here again. I had it up and then I lost it. I'm still yet to memorize all the teams.
Well, our home team is the DC Defenders because we got to defend DC.
And I really like our logo because it kind of gives like that European football type league type like logo. Like a lot of the others are kind of generic or whatever, but I feel like ours like has that like Champions League like soccer feel to it.
Damn it! This is American football, not European socialism.
I guess we should go one by one and analyze the logos. I guess jerseys hadn't came out yet, but we got an idea of what they'll kind of be like with the colors.
With the New York Guardians?
I mean, did they actually come out with the jerseys today, or was it just the logos and the colors?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I heard Jersey, and when I thought of Jersey, I thought of the team that's playing in Jersey, the New York Guardians. I apologize. No, they haven't showed any jerseys yet. They've only shown the the logos. And honestly, hot take, the AAF had better logos than what was revealed today for the XFL.
Agreed. I think it was kind of a letdown. Some are good, some are awful. Like, what's up with the LA Wildcats? It looks awful.
Yeah, it's just LA. I feel like just LA teams in general are just so generic. It's just an LA. Like the letters LA.
Right. Agreed.
And why are they the Wildcats?
I don't know. There's not fucking Wildcats in Los Angeles.
So I didn't actually get to watch the official reveal, but for every club that they did a reveal for, they had like a backstory. And
Right.
so the one I did catch one, which was the Tampa Bay Vipers. And that's generic as shit, that logo. But basically, they
Go
were
ahead.
going,
I'll have a theory on that, but go ahead.
they were going through the forest, and they were trying to, make you think, all right, so what are they talking about? It's obviously a dangerous animal. You don't know which dangerous animal they're talking about because they started showing black widows and alligators. It's definitely alligators. They're in Florida. It's Gator Nation. And then it starts showing a snake, and it's a viper.
Here's my theory on this. Randy Orton has a house down in Tampa or somewhere down in Florida. My theory is that they're going to bring in the WWE audience to try to make them Tampa fans because of Randy Orton. And he's going to be at midfield before every game, even WrestleMania Sunday. He's going to be wherever Tampa Bay's at for that XFL game and then fly right back to WrestleMania because he's a big WWE player and a big XFL player. He's going to be the advertising guru for the XFL.
Well, it also helps that Tampa is the home of WrestleMania next year.
WrestleMania, Logan.
It's wet.
So what are some of your favorites? I think
The DC Defender logo for sure.
I kind of like New York Guardians, but I don't. I know that doesn't make sense, but
Guardians logo reminds me of an arena football team.
Right. It reminds me it's like a crossover between a tiger, a lion, and King Kong.
And what's funny is it's supposed to be a gargoyle.
Yeah, that's not the gargoyles I grew up with on Disney Channel.
Exactly.
I like Battlehawks. That's just random, and I've never heard that in my life. It doesn't make sense, but it's so bad it's good, you know?
Damn it, Paul! Let's name them the Battlehawks. Yum.
And I go back to Tampa Bay Vipers. I do like their color scheme.
Yeah.
It's kind of Green Bay Packerish. The Dragons, that's not bad. I guess they're going to have the green
the
and
UAB
orange
logo,
color.
basically.
Yeah, yeah. I like the Dallas Renegades. That, in all honesty, even though we're Defenders fans, that's probably my favorite. The Houston Roughnecks and the Wildcats are the worst.
Yeah, the Roughnecks is basically a combination of the Cowboys, the Patriots old logo, and the Houston Oilers.
Right. I wish they just had the old school Houston Oilers colors.
Yeah.
The baby blue. I just love those jerseys. They were awesome.
I don't like the Battlehawks logo. I just don't.
It doesn't make sense. The name is cool.
Yeah.
But logo wise, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't fit.
There should have been some crazy hawk with I don't know, battling trolls or something. I don't know. Actual trolls though, the little dolls.
Right. So I would say definitely hometown bias, DC Defenders, my top. Second, Renegades are fine. I'm okay with the Guardians. And then everything else. Just...
the Vipers, that's a cool color scheme, but the logo, it's just a V.
It reminds me too much of Randy Orton. Now that you talk about it, it's just
it looks like a shirt they would design for him at WrestleMania. It would just be a V.
Yeah, that's not good.
My friend said that basically half these logos look like somebody went on Madden and just created a team with the generic logos they give you.
I could see it.
Other than the Defenders and the Renegades, all these look like just random logos you could pick and just pick your own color for it.
Yeah. So when the DC Defender merch comes out, I'm definitely gonna buy myself a DC Defender shirt.
Yeah, I feel like it's actually cool.
Right.
People will be like, "Oh, that's a cool team. Are they in the Major League Soccer?" And I'll be like, yeah. Because it does look like it would be like from the MLS or something.
Right.
But it's cool. Like, it's not like overly done. Like, it's simple but effective.
Yeah, I don't have any criticism against it. I think that's the most professional logo that they could have come up with, which is
Like,
weird because of how much money's behind this project. So you would think that they would be able to hire some decent graphic designers, but that's just me.
well, Kevin Dunn probably came up with it.
I hope they do better than Kevin Dunn.
Proc guys, Osweiler.
So moving on, sticking with the XFL here. The XFL came out recently with a video hyping up their first signee of the XFL. Landry Jones, former backup to Ben Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And his favorite target, of course, is Martavis Bryant. Because funny story. Michael Vick started against the Arizona Cardinals in the 2015 season.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some reason we had Michael Vick as a backup. I don't know why. But
I remember that.
he gets hurt. So they bring in Landry Jones. Landry Jones throws 2 touchdowns to Martavis Bryant. And it's just like, wow, maybe this is the guy to replace Ben. Because Ben was getting hurt. Like,
Yeah.
a lot. And then we realized he wasn't the guy. And he got cut last year. And then he got signed randomly with the Jaguars. I think it was only to give our offensive scheme.
Right.
Because they didn't do anything with him after that. And now he's playing for the XFL.
Right. I feel like he was never a bad quarterback though. Like he's a good backup.
Well,
Like,
you know
he was never going to be the guy.
we know who he is better than?
Who's that?
Glennon and Peterman
Yeah.
the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, we'll get into that here in a little bit.
Yeah.
If you look at his stats though, they were never that bad. His lowest quarterback rating was 77.3. Like, he wasn't terrible, he wasn't great, but he was like a good backup. I think he's going to do well in the XFL. He could be like, who was the veteran from the AAF that was carving up?
John Wolford.
No, no, he's good too. But
Who did he play for?
I should know this. Gotta love dead air time on a podcast.
Fire it up in your Google machine.
Like Zach Mettenberger or Aaron Murray or Garrett Gilbert, like one of those three. I was just trying to like find a combination. He could be like one of those three, like in the league.
Well, Mettenberger was extremely overrated coming in and completely blew it.
Remember when I hyped him up?
Oh, yeah. And then Murray.
Finally got a shot.
Yeah.
I don't think he did anything with it. I used to know all this stuff, and like I'm just like
And
I just felt like brain dead.
And Sims, Wes Sims, not Wes Sims.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, he was awful.
Yeah. For the Atlanta Legends.
Who else? Wasn't there another person that signed with the XFL yesterday as well? I feel like there was, and I forgot to mention it to you. Yeah.
I only saw Landry Jones.
Oh, Ryan Mallett.
Oh, yeah. The guy that beat us that same season.
Yeah, like a year, like 5 or 6 years ago, he was what everybody thought that was going to be Jimmy Garoppolo when he came out of college, when they drafted him. They thought he was going to be Brady's successor. So I have a theory on this, but I'll let you give your thoughts first.
I'm still extremely bitter that our Mike Tomlin did not take this guy seriously, and he was able to score touchdowns on us.
I have this theory that Ryan Mallett's still going to be Tom Brady's successor. And I feel that he has been tanking his whole career, and Belichick and Brady have told him, just tank, man. By the time I retire, this will be your job. So what he's going to do is he's going to take over the XFL. He's going to be the next Brady. He's going to be the next Montana. He's going to win 3 or 4 Super Bowls. He's going to come into the NFL after Brady retires at like age 50. Mallett's going to be like age 38 or 40 or whatever. I don't know how old he is now. And Mallett is going to carry the New England Patriots to a dynasty as well. It's all a ploy. That's my conspiracy theory for the week.
Good night, Canada. Yeah, I don't subscribe to that at all. I think obviously Landry Jones is a better player, and hopefully they'd pick Landry Jones in the first round. Do you think they'll do a draft like they did for the AAF?
They are.
They are.
Reading the article about Ryan Mallett, he said he entered himself into the XFL draft.
I'm entering myself into the Royal Rumble. What? I said the Royal Rumble.
Says Ryan Mallett has been extended and has accepted an invite to be part of the XFL's player draft in October. So the draft will be next month.
I still think Landry Jones goes first.
Now here's another interesting thing is they've extended stuff to veterans, but they've also extended invites to college players, I read.
Do you think the kid from
or prospect
goes?
Type players? I don't think so. Well, and the reason I say that is because I think a lot of these kids are going to wait around and see if this league's going to fold or not. If it lasts for like 2 to 3 seasons, I think you're going to start seeing some college kids pick that money and go to the XFL for 2 to 3 years versus college.
Well, can you enter after going through high school, or is there a one and done rule? The NFL
Not the NFL, you got to at least play 2 seasons in the NCAA, and that's just an NFL rule.
Right.
That's why somebody like XFL, I think it would be a game changer if they could get college kids. Even just XFL could be like essentially the new college football in a way, where they can get paid and they go to the NFL. My question is, if that did happen, would the...
You're going in and out. You there?
What?
You there? I heard some of that.
Oh. Hang on. All right, we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. What did you last hear? My connection.
So we're talking about the 2-year rule, and then you said that the XFL can basically become
They could become the new college football in a way, where kids just go there for 2 years before they go to the NFL, and they can get paid.
Oh yeah, well it's obvious that the NCAA is just one gigantic scam.
Yeah. You just wonder if the NFL would change their policy just to mess with the XFL if this happens. Because if you go back to the AAF, like, they wanted to be like the feeder system with the NFL, not wanted to compete, and the NFL still was petty about it.
Right. Well, I don't think that the XFL is going to want to play with the NFL. I don't think they're going to try and do what the AAF did.
Vince is really going to try to compete.
As long as he doesn't move it to the fall, like Trump did. The USFL.
Because we saw like succeeds, like AAF ratings were good. Even when they were like declining later in the year, they were still good. Like, it was better than like your average TV show like on a Saturday night.
You know, I still don't understand, like, why they didn't just do a full season.
Just finish it out.
Exactly.
I guess they just had no money to pay the guys.
Well, from what I remember seeing is like Tom Dundon wanted them to be essentially the minor league for the NFL and use practice squad players. And the NFL didn't want to do that. And so Tom Dundon said, well, all right, we're just going to shut everything down.
Right.
But I don't know, obviously.
There's more to it than we know.
Right. 5 months later, is that still the case? Is that really what happened?
Right.
Because it's come out alive that Charlie Ebersol he was part of the problem.
Right.
Because, for example, players that were suing the AAF, he said that it wasn't the league that was defrauding them. It was the players defrauding the league.
Right.
Which doesn't make sense.
No, that doesn't make sense at all. That'd be like the players holding them up for money.
Right. So, obviously, it was a failure from the start, but, I mean, they could have easily finished out the season, gotten, run on fumes. I don't know, but seriously.
Yeah, it's sad, man. I hope we get an ESPN 30 for 30 on it one day and get the true story.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on the 30 for 30 for UVA.
Yeah, they'll probably do that 30 years from now, like an old man.
Damn it, I want it now.
I remember Kyle Guy.
Oh, man. You want to go ahead and start talking about the Hard Knocks?
Oh, before we do, I have a theme song for the DC Defenders.
Okay, all right, I'm ready.
And it's I kind of got the inspiration from like Limp Bizkit WWE days.
Okay.
All right, here we go. We're the defenders, the defenders, the DC Defenders, the defenders. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, the defenders, the defenders, the defenders, defenders, running down to the goal line, scoring touchdowns. The defenders, we're the defenders, the defenders. You think they'll make that like the XFL version of the chainsaw for the Hot Shots? Just me saying the defenders, the defenders.
I think they should. I think we need to push them hard and get them to put us over, bro.
Like 60,000 people just chanting, defend us, defend us. And we have Limp Bizkit come out in halftime and do like a rendition of it.
What's unfortunate, there's only 20,000 people that can be seated.
Oh, yeah.
The smallest field for the XFL this year.
But we saw in the AAF with San Antonio, if you have a smaller stadium, and you fill it up, it's more intimate, and it gives like that great atmosphere versus like the Alabama Iron with a giant field and like 20 people in it.
San Antonio had a field with 70,000 people in it.
But they, but they cut down like because the Alamo Dome's so big, like they cut it in half. So like they like only allotted what they could have in there. So it got loud in there versus like a lot of these other stadiums. Like it's going to be tough for like New York to like fill out that stadium. It's going to look really dumb.
Yeah, I don't know why they would go to MetLife. What a garbage.
I thought they should have did like the MLS stadium up there for the New York Red Bulls.
Just do Yankee Stadium.
I don't think they'd fill that out either. I think like where the Red Bulls play would have been cool. I'm happy that Washington's at Audi or whatever. I feel like that's Audi. I was like saying Aldi's like the grocery store, but
it's Audi. It's like the car.
Yeah, like the car. Yeah, I just realized that. It's probably a lot easier to get to, I'd imagine, versus like when we were in DC and like there's all that traffic going towards like the Redskins stadium. I guess. I don't know. Have you been to Aldi?
I haven't. I've driven past it. And I don't recommend going to
Anywhere in
FedEx Field.
DC. Okay.
But I'm excited. It's not too far of a drive for me, but I don't know that I'm going to want to drive up there 5 times in 3 months.
I think you should just give up on the season tickets and just like buy tickets whenever you want to go.
But I've already spent the $100 on it.
Right.
Like I've already deposited, so it's either lose out on $100 or spend an extra $100.
I guess worst comes to worst, you could just StubHub like tickets if you don't want to go like make one of the games or something.
Right. Well, hopefully it's like, since it's a 10-week thing, hopefully what it is week 1, week 4, week 5, week 7, and like week 9 or something.
There might, and maybe there might be a doubleheader week like one time out of the year.
Yeah. And especially since it is, 3 months, it wouldn't be that bad.
And hopefully they give you like free playoff tickets if they make it.
No, I'd have to pay for that as well. I'm sure. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to get the thing and go in there, and it's like
$500 a ticket. At that point, you're probably just like keep the deposit.
Yeah, at that point, I would just be like, it's not worth it.
Now,
Which
did they
sucks.
have a seating tier when they asked you for the deposit, or did it just say a deposit?
For one person, it was $50. So for 2 people, I paid $100.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all if the ticket prices are right. I think $25 to $50, or I guess it depends on where they would have you seated or where your seat is for the year.
Well, since it's Audi Field is pretty small, so
it's like a good seat anywhere.
Yeah. So what I'm hoping for is I can get some nosebleed seats and only have to pay, I don't know, an extra $50.
Yeah. I feel like you remember Mania in Orlando. I feel like thinking of Audi, it's probably like that whole lower tier of like that Orlando stadium we were in.
Right.
WrestleMania, just without the top tier.
Yeah, but I'm also afraid it could easily be another $300. You don't think they'd be that crazy, do you?
I think they got to go low that first year at least.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to pay $300 to go see the XFL.
Especially
I'll just watch it on TV.
For 5 games, $300.
Right. And I wish we had Alex on here because I don't know how much AAF tickets were, but I'm kind of curious now.
Well, they were handing out tickets for free at one point.
Will Vince paper the tickets like Royal Rumble 96?
I think
or 97. I'm sorry, 97.
A possibility they could do that. But if you did $300 for a season of 5 games, divided by 300 divided by 5 is 60.
That's not terrible.
200 divided by 5 is 40. I think I should have waited, but yeah.
Because I doubt everybody. You were probably like the first person to do it, and there's probably been nobody else to put a deposit down for it. Hey, maybe they'll give you free merch or something for doing it, though.
I can only hope so. I'm not really looking forward to having to deal with it, just because that's extra money I'm going to have to put down. But best case scenario, I get the $100 and that's all the nosebleeds.
Yeah. Now, if you do open your deposit, I'd just raise hell until you get your $100 back.
Do a chargeback.
Lasagna time.
Oh my!
I might make a lasagna tomorrow.
Lasagna. Hard Knocks.
I guess let's jump into Hard Knocks.
So the first thing I want to talk about, the first thing that happened in this week's episode is my boy, Frank Caliendo.
Lean on me.
I miss myself some Frank Caliendo.
Yeah, Rob Riggle doesn't cut it.
Yeah, I really
He's not bad, but he's not on Caliendo level.
Yeah, Caliendo was definitely the better pick'em guy for the NFL on Fox pre-show.
Was it Jimmy Kimmel when I was a kid? I feel like it was Jimmy Kimmel at one time too, like in the 2000s.
You know, I don't remember who it was prior to Frank Caliendo, to be honest with you.
Okay. I feel like it was Jimmy Kimmel, but I'm not sure. Oh, well.
You can fire up your Google machine.
I guess if nobody caught it, Frank Caliendo acted like John Gruden, and it was spot on like usual. It was Derek Carr that brought him in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I guess they should have just titled the name of the show The Antonio Brown Show. Because it was a lot of Antonio Brown this week.
Yeah, but I felt like that it worked.
But we knew that was... Yeah, oh yeah, that's the big news story going on right now.
Do you
I
think that the
Go
NFL is... Or not the NFL, but the media is blowing up this helmet thing more than they should, especially since they showed at the end of the episode him catching balls with a helmet on.
Right. Well, and I took some notes on, and we saw his agent Drew Rosenhaus with John Gruden talking, and they both said it's not distracting. They were both on the same page. In the end, I took it as media overblowing it, fake news.
Hashtag fake news.
And Antonio Brown said it. He said, they got me as the enemy of the fucking state.
Right. And they showed him jogging around and horse playing during the preseason game against the Cardinals.
When he was trying to give him the drip.
The drip!
Look, let me ask, is this special juice a performance enhancer? Or is it Blue Chew?
You know, there might be some Blue Chew in there.
But yeah. And then there was a moment that I jotted down, which was kind of interesting to me, was when Antonio Brown and Richie Incognito were talking about how good the chemistry is and the team's really embracing each other. Like, there could be some like really good chemistry with this team because you got guys like Incognito, you know, who's been known as a bully, and Antonio Brown, who's the media paints as this egotistical maniac, and they're getting along. And I mean, there's some chemistry there. It's kind of motivating in a way. Like, I kind of want to move the Raiders up in my predictions now.
Yeah, no, I think the Raiders are going to be a lot more dangerous than people think, but obviously this could just be us working ourselves into a shoot.
Right. But like, yeah, even though I want to, I still think they're going to be last in the division. I just can't.
Yeah, it's the Raiders we're talking about, and it's John Gruden.
Yeah. What else did I have here? Gruden said he wants a bigger, faster, and stronger team, and then he showed little Hunter Renfrow from Clemson, very tiny guy that they drafted. He was kind of the start of the Clemson dynasty. I feel like he played with Clemson forever. I guess he's going to be like their slot receiver. That should be all right. And other than that, that's about all I noted. Other than Oakland players, really the whole show kept saying keep them sleeping.
Yeah,
because they really believe that everybody's sleeping on them. Oh, and also their tight end Darren Waller, who I thought this was kind of cool. He was with Baltimore a few years ago, had drug issues, and now he's gotten clean, and it looks like he's got high potential to possibly start at tight end for the Oakland Raiders. So that was kind of a cool story that they had on there.
Yeah,
that was about all the notes I took that I found interesting.
I hope they do something with him, especially since he was saying, you know, he had to be high all the time, and he was so fucked up he'd be pilled out on the field, and they definitely I feel like they definitely have something with him. And but something I wanted to talk about is Peterman and Glennon.
Yeah.
Is the struggle to be a backup really this hard? Is there a market for backups, and why are the Raiders scraping the bottom of the barrel?
Like you said earlier, Landry Jones.
Right. Blake Bortles.
Kaepernick. No, I'm not going to touch anything else. I'm just going to say Kaepernick.
Roman Reigns.
Like, no matter what you think on his stance, like, Kaepernick is better than Peterman. And
does he go to the XFL?
I hope. Well, I don't know if Vince is going to touch that. And I don't want to go on the topic of it. I don't want to rattle any
not touching
either.
it.
I don't want to rattle any feathers either way. I'm not going to play a side on it. I'm going to be completely unbiased, and I'm not going to touch it. But it would be quite the publicity for the XFL.
Yeah, well, anyway, how bad could these two guys possibly be? Like, they're pretty bad.
Yeah. They're bad. I can't even put it in the words. I can't even describe how bad they are. Like, why didn't they just pick up Josh Johnson like the Lions picked him up? And, like, he didn't do great in the preseason, but he didn't do terrible.
John Wolford.
Yeah.
Garrett Gilbert.
Obviously, the Rams got a pretty good backup there. Who did Gilbert end up signing with?
The Browns.
Okay. So if there's this crazy scenario that Manziel leads him to like a crazy season and it gets to the playoffs, he goes down and Garrett Gilbert is your Super Bowl MVP.
Wait, did you say Manziel?
Baker Mayfield, same person.
What are your thoughts on this Baker Mayfield, Josh Daniels controversy?
Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I think it was taken out of context because Baker did say today, like, I didn't mean it like that. I wasn't trying to diss him. He meant to say that he was surprised they drafted him so early. And I actually believe him on that because
I think everybody
thought, yeah. And the way that the article wrote it made it seem like he was like, this guy sucks.
Right.
And he didn't mean it like that. He was just like, they could have got him like in the second round, just like in a short version of it. Like, I think it was overblown. And he actually texted Daniel Jones and they talked about it and he apologized that it was taken out of context like that.
Well, you know. But I thought it was a pretty good episode. A lot of people don't think this season of Hard Knocks is any good. I don't really have anything to compare it to because I haven't seen anything else.
People are just saying that because they don't like the egos on the team. So they're just like, I ain't gonna watch that shit.
Yeah. I have been watching Last Chance U. I watched the first season. It's pretty good.
Yeah, a guy at work told me to watch it.
Yeah.
I maybe will one day. There's just too much content on TV.
I binged the first season like last weekend. I got to get back in football, man. I mean, it's not going to get to the level of me watching Main Event every week like Brad Ward, but you know what I mean?
Right. I guess preseason would be the equivalent of Main Event.
Yeah. Moving on. Give me a random fantasy pick. Who's your sleeper?
Clinton Portis.
Who do you really have?
Sleeper. Well, this is. I don't want to reveal this info. Shoot, you put me on the spot there. I saw you edited our run sheet real quick.
No, that's always been there.
Oh, was it there?
Yeah.
How did I miss that? Kerryon Johnson from Detroit.
Okay. I'm going Jalen Samuels for the Pittsburgh Steelers. His current ADP is round 10, pick 5. He's definitely somebody that you should look at.
I like how we pick teams from our favorite teams. Players from our favorite teams.
But that's where you see the most play out of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for example, like I'm sure a lot of people didn't know who Juju Smith-Schuster was, or was even playing him his first season. The second he scored against Baltimore, I said I need to pick him up, and I was right.
Like, he was a highly touted kid coming out of USC, but I don't think anybody, because I got him in the second round, but I don't think anybody thought he was going to do what he's going to do so quick. Like, he was like one of those where they drafted him out of USC and was like, this guy's going to be good in like 3 to 4 years. But, like, he's in year 2 and he's an all-pro.
Yeah. He's dangerous, man. And he's going to be the top wide receiver for the Steelers this year.
Yeah, and just for kicks and giggles, let's go back to that 2017 NFL draft and see what other receivers were picked in front of him, and let's see if anybody did anything dumb for fun here. The Cincinnati Bengals, let's start. The first wide receiver in the draft was taken number 5 from the Tennessee Titans, Corey Davis. He's been okay, but he ain't no juju. Cincinnati took John Ross, who had the fastest 40 time that offseason. That's why they took him. He's
Mike Williams.
Yeah. Zay Jones. Juju just outperformed all these dudes, man.
Curtis Samuel.
And then this draft altogether, like, there's only a few that really – there's a good number of people that did well, I guess. But, like, skill position-wise, he's up there. Juju, Alvin Kamara, obviously. Kareem Hunt. James Conner was taken in the 3rd round. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a really good draft. The 3rd round, they had Conner. The 2nd round, they had Juju. That's a really good draft. And they had TJ Watt in the 1st round. Say what you want about Pittsburgh, but they do draft well, unlike my Detroit Lions.
Yeah, we develop guys really well. We don't really sign free agents. We just go straight from the draft. And we find value picks.
And in the 4th round, you maybe went with Ben's successor and Joshua Dobbs, who I've always been kind of impressed with when he was in college.
He's actually fighting right now for the 3 spot.
Who's number 2?
Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State.
Oh, yeah. You did get him, which that may actually be the successor. I forgot you got Mason Rudolph. You probably have 2 of the best backups in the league.
Dobbs is fighting this guy right now, Hodges. And Hodges has looked really good.
I feel like Pittsburgh's always been good with backup quarterbacks as well.
Charlie Batch.
Yep. He was the last Lions quarterback that was with Barry Sanders before Barry Sanders retired early because he got tired of losing with the Lions. Just like Megatron Calvin Johnson.
Yeah. So we can go ahead and move on to the NFC South, which last year was won by the New Orleans Saints, who got the number 1 seed and got Montreal screwjobbed out of going to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Followed by trash, and more trash with Atlanta and Carolina both going 7-9. Tampa Bay going 5-11.
This division sucks. I think it's going to be around
Yeah.
the same order again. I think it's going to be the Saints and the Falcons and Panthers are going to be fighting for second, and the Bucks are just going to be right there in the rear again.
There's nothing else really to it. New Orleans takes the division again.
This is probably going to be Bree's last big chance, I think, in my opinion, to try to get a Super Bowl. Because he's getting older and older, and he's still not lost anything, but it's going to hit you eventually.
Yeah, well, Breeze is up there in age.
Yeah. So he's going to be coming out firing, trying to get that Super Bowl. I think they're going to be pissed off from last year's playoffs. I think they're going to have another 13-3 year, 12-4 or something like that.
Yeah, and of course Atlanta, Carolina, and Tampa Bay do nothing of value.
No, I guess if I had to pick, I think the Panthers will be second and the Falcons will be third.
Yeah,
And the Bucks fourth.
And-
But I don't feel any of those teams did anything in the offseason to match New Orleans whatsoever.
And then Bruce Arians has a heart attack on the field. That's my knee-jerk reaction.
I do think he'll turn that team around, but it's not going to be done in a year.
Yeah.
Now we go to the more interesting division, I think.
Well, that was quick. Let's go ahead and go to AFC South. I would say it's a lot more competitive. And
I think any of these four teams can win the division.
Oh, absolutely.
Now that
And
Nick Foles is the quarterback.
Houston had a great year after Watson tearing his ACL in practice the previous year. Houston went third seed in the AFC, going 11-5. Indianapolis coming right behind in 6th seed, 10-6. Tennessee not quite far behind, 9-7. And Jacksonville, 5-11. Do you see more of the same?
Jacksonville's coming back. People forget that this team was 2 minutes away from going to the Super Bowl and playing the Eagles.
But
They had New England beat.
But here's the thing. I think that just made it that much better.
Right.
Having New England lose in the Super Bowl.
Right. I mean, obviously the ratings wouldn't have been nearly as good either because it's Jacksonville. But if you look last year, Jacksonville still had one of the best defenses in the league. They had no offense. They had, I think, the fewest points scored in the whole league with 245. I don't know if Cardinals were lower or not. Yeah, the Cardinals were the only team lower. So, I mean, Jacksonville just had no quarterback play. I think they're coming back. I think they're winning the division.
You think Nick Foles leads them to the homeland?
I'm not saying Super Bowl, but they'll be a contender. They're my dark horse contender.
Do you think Houston and Indianapolis will be competing as well?
See, this is tough because they could easily get 3 wild cards in, but then I go back to like the AFC West where we talked about the Chargers and the Broncos could be wild cards as well. And then the AFC North where you could have the Ravens, Steelers, and the Browns. The AFC's just loaded, man.
Yeah, I would say that in comparison to previous years, that the AFC is definitely dangerous this year.
Yeah. I go Jacksonville 1, Houston 2, Indianapolis 3, Tennessee 4, and I think there's a case where like the last place team wins like 8 games. Like it's gonna be tight.
I'm going Houston, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Tennessee.
That's fair. I mean, I could see it it's interchangeable, I think, in that division. Like I think these teams could be separated like by a game. And it could all change next week when we do our big wrap up postseason. I mean, whole regular season preview, I guess.
Yeah.
So we may change some of our opinions. Definitely be on the lookout for next week's show. There's going to be a lot of talk about the season.
And with that, we go on to our last segment of the night. Wednesday night mailbag. Give us your questions. And first question from user Flacco for Gold Jacket on r/NFL. on Reddit says, John Elway will be on the Today Show tomorrow morning to discuss a personal medical diagnosis. What do you think's wrong with John Elway?
Oh man, I hate to speculate. He's got something.
What does he have?
I don't know. I don't like playing this game because it's probably not good.
Moving on.
Not touching that.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
Who asked that? Whoever asked that's a dick.
Well, they didn't ask what it was. They just broke the news.
Okay.
That's more.
Whoever asked it.
That's more so on me.
Oh, you're a dick. Hashtag he's a dick.
Hashtag don't be a dick. So next from user Doft, the Oakland Raiders are playing Green Bay Packers in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, for the next game in the preseason.
Actually, tonight, Aaron Rodgers came dressed as a cowboy.
So that's already happened.
Yeah, it's actually going on right now as we speak.
Okay. Oakland had a T-shirt that said Winnipeg, Alberta. Winnipeg is in Manitoba. What are your thoughts on that?
Botcha mania.
Nookie says, Andy Dalton is now your starting quarterback for this season only. How do you feel about your season now?
If Andy Dalton's your quarterback?
Yes.
I don't feel too good about it at all. I know it's a generic answer, but geez. There's been so many games where like they've been in it and I've just seen the dude like throw it away. I don't feel confident in it. I don't feel confident in it at all. How many games do you win, did you say?
No, just how do you feel about it?
Oh, yeah, it sucks. I don't want Andy Dalton as my quarterback. Give me Josh Johnson.
What player this year do you hope your team trades or gets rid of?
Man, I really like a lot of our guys. Can we? Does it have to be a trade, or could it be somebody I just want cut off the team?
It could be either.
Can we just like get rid of like all our like David Fells? He's a shitty third string quarterback.
Okay. Val Kilmer's nips and
What?
Val Kilmer's nipples in Batman.
Oh, okay.
Posts from Ian Rappaport, not Sports Talk Barry. At this point, Chargers running back Melvin Gordon's holdout is expected to continue into the season, sources say. Do you still draft Melvin Gordon at all?
I'm afraid to, because my friend Joey took that gamble on Le'Veon Bell last year, and it didn't pay off. So, because his plan was either to play him or use him as trade bait, and nobody ever bid on the trade bait because they thought that would happen, and then he never came back. So he just had like a Le'Veon Bell on his roster the whole time that didn't do anything. I'm not touching the situation. I just hope that if he does come back, like somebody like doesn't draft him and he's just sitting there on waivers all year.
So
and you just hope you have number one waiver that week.
Hashtag not touching that.
Yeah, I'm not touching it. Him or Zeke. I'm afraid of that situation, both of them.
Well, where do you draft Bell at? If you were to draft Bell.
Well, because I think a lot of running backs are going to come out in the first round, he'll probably be I don't know where they got him ranked right now. I'd probably have him as a 2 or a 3. And it varies on how many people's in your league. Like if you're running 14, then he could be a late first rounder because everybody's going to be like running back. Oh, wide receiver, running back. It just varies. Like I don't think he's like Alvin Kamara or Barkley or McCaffrey. But I don't know. I still have issues with that Jets offensive line. Like I said a few weeks ago, I think they're going to key on Le'Veon Bell, a lot of these defenses, and make Sam Darnold try to beat them. So I don't know if Le'Veon's going to put up the numbers he did in Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh had good offensive lines too.
Right.
And even when they played bad, like they were still better than the Jets' offensive line.
What's your favorite Cedric Benson moment?
Picking him in Madden when I was a kid, thinking he was going to be the next big thing when he came out of Texas University.
Yeah.
But I remember him and Cadillac Williams. Those two came out and they were supposed to be like the next big running backs, and I feel like they never panned out.
Like Ricky Williams?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Cedric, I say he didn't have a bad NFL career, but it was never superstar caliber.
Last question. Is sitting Dwayne Haskins this season the right move?
Is that official? I know they did say Keenum was probably going to start the season.
No, it's just that's from Discord the God.
I think the Redskins, I like their roster. I would... if Keenum ain't playing good, I would put him in. I think this team has a shot at the division because I think I picked them to win the division when we had our preview show. But that's barring if Ezekiel Elliott's in or out. But I would play the kid. He's not gonna get any better on the sidelines. I never really understood that myself. They're like, oh, you're throwing him to the wolves. Didn't he want to become an NFL player? Isn't that his job?
Well, somebody said that if they force Dwayne to play week 1 to sell tickets, I will start getting angry at Dan. The right move is to let him sit. He can learn sitting. He doesn't need to have to learn on the fly. This team is deep enough at QB that starting him immediately is not mandatory. And somebody responded with start getting angry at Dan. So where the fuck have you been for the past, about 5 years now? Fucking Dan Snyder.
Oh, Dan Snyder.
He's friends with Scientologists.
He's weird, man.
Yeah. So anywho, we'll go ahead and wrap things up. I definitely thought that was our best episode ever.
Did I disconnect again?
No?
Oh, no. Okay,
still
never mind.
So, was it our best episode ever, Logan?
Best episode ever. I can't wait till next week's episode. I think that could be the best episode ever.
And right under an hour. So you can follow us on Twitter at STFW Wednesday. You can follow Logan at By God
Logan. BAHGAWDLOGAN.
Good night, Canada.
And don't forget next week's episode. It'll be the giant NFL preview show.
Hey everybody, Nick here with the Wednesday Night Sports Podcast with another edition of Something to Football with Logan. How's it going, Logan?
I just have one question before we start off. Have you tried the new Popeye's chicken sandwich that is just taking over the United States? And some are comparing it and saying it's better than the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
No, I haven't. I don't plan on it either.
I probably will at some point, but maybe not. I feel like I'm playing the fence, but I have to drive all the way across town to get it. So if I'm ever across town, I'll get it, but maybe not. I don't know. Well, let's continue.
Anyway, so this is our, can you believe it, our 20th episode?
It's hard to believe. It definitely lasted longer than Hey Wogan. which you can find in our archives somewhere or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And this will be our best episode yet because we are the recipient of the two-time Brad Ward Podcast Award. Shout out to Brad Ward.
You can follow him at whatever his handle is right now.
Brad Ward Fight. And you can follow us on Twitter at STFW Wednesday. Something to football with Wednesday. So let's go ahead and get things started. Let's start talking about the XFL.
Welcome to the XFL. Waits for Dakota to come in the room.
Dakota, take your goddamn pills!
Oh, speaking of pills, the Cats are up this week.
Oh, god damn it.
They were going after wires, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with this.
So I think we should start talking about the XFL teams that they revealed today. What do you think of these 8 team names that they've revealed?
Well, let me pull it back up here again. I had it up and then I lost it. I'm still yet to memorize all the teams.
Well, our home team is the DC Defenders because we got to defend DC.
And I really like our logo because it kind of gives like that European football type league type like logo. Like a lot of the others are kind of generic or whatever, but I feel like ours like has that like Champions League like soccer feel to it.
Damn it! This is American football, not European socialism.
I guess we should go one by one and analyze the logos. I guess jerseys hadn't came out yet, but we got an idea of what they'll kind of be like with the colors.
With the New York Guardians?
I mean, did they actually come out with the jerseys today, or was it just the logos and the colors?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I heard Jersey, and when I thought of Jersey, I thought of the team that's playing in Jersey, the New York Guardians. I apologize. No, they haven't showed any jerseys yet. They've only shown the the logos. And honestly, hot take, the AAF had better logos than